How delusional are Australians really? Well, they just proved the point. We now have another 3 years of tyranny under their supposed CEO, Anal Easy. I honestly thought the people were waking up to the fact of the crimes committed against all Australians. Doesn't seem to be the case, does it? How delusional can one be by going to vote for a political party? There are no political parties in or under the Constitution Act. This is a proven fact. We just seem to run off assumptions and opinions. Well, I'm sorry to say, the time for assumptions and opinions is now over. If you can't read and write like you were educated very early in life, it just shows how stupid and ignorant you really are. We take our hats off to all those that comprehend the research of a gentleman by the name of Dick Yardley, and also the research and knowledge of the gentleman by the name of Wayne Glue. This country is in really bad shape, and we are all being deceived and conned by these con artists that are purporting to be the Australian government. Where has the government of Australia gone? There is no such entity as the Australian government. This is a proven fact. They have created a paper coin in 1973. The 1988 Constitutional Commission, Bills number 1, Bills number 2, prove this is the case. They also created their fraudulent copy of a public functionary seal in 1973. This is also a proven fact. But most Australians refuse to accept the facts and continue living in the land of fairy tales and delusions. Well, I'm very sorry to say, I, like many other Australians, don't have the time or the patience to be hanging around waiting for the rest of Australia to wake up to the fact that we are being conned and deceived by all these treasonous individuals that call themselves honourable politicians. The time has now come from last night's so-called selection. They have proved beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt that they do want to be controlled. They do want to be owned. They are political party slaves. You've only got to look at how many rights have been taken away from every single Australian and sold back to you as a licence, a tax. But I'm the one that wears a tinfoil hat, like many other Australians. Well, I'm sorry to say, we are not the ones that are wearing the tinfoil hat. We are living in reality. We look at the facts. We know how to read. We know how to write. It's unfortunate that most Australians have lost the ability to read and write. So all I can say to Australia is, you asked for it, you got him, and now what? Good luck, and enjoy the next 3 years of tyranny. I very much doubt that there will be another so-called selection, because in my humble opinion, this was the last one. They've manipulated the whole system to benefit themselves. It's not hard to comprehend the information once you sit down and read it. Australians make me sick. I love my country and I love our people. But if the people are just going to blindly follow along, lick the boots, kiss the asses of these individuals, these dishonourable individuals that are lying, deceiving and hoodwinking all Australians out of the ownership of everything, and that includes all your rights, all your property. They own the lot. How many politicians have actually worked a hard day in their life. Well, my life was taken away, or my ability to work was taken away in 2010 from an injury, which was an inguinal hernia in the groin. WorkCover Victoria refused to admit that it was nerve damage. We came up here to Queensland because I was able to move around in the heat that we found when we came up. So my wife decided we're moving. So we packed our bags, we moved to Queensland. Now when we got to Queensland, I seen the local doctor who put me onto a pain specialist, Dr. Peter Georgius down in Noosaville. Now, he stated, after he'd done his examination of my fucked up body, that I had nerve damage, 8 out of 10. Now, it's very sad that WorkCover Victoria refused to admit that it was nerve damage, and it goes against the actual payout figure when they give you a lump sum payout. So I ended up getting $265,000 for the rest of my life to support my wife, my kids and my family. Without the ability to go back to work, do they expect me and any other Australian to sit down and take this nicely? Well, I'm very sorry to say, you have poked too many bears, and now it's time for them koala bears to jump out of the trees. Because I myself, I don't have no options. My options have been taken away by the lies and deceit of these individuals that think they're doing the right thing. So, a bit of work cover. Last year at the start of the year, because WorkCover Victoria was refusing to pay for cannabis oil and cannabis flower. They wanted more information. We got them more information. They still spat it back in our face. So at the start of last year, we asked our local doctor to refer myself to a pain specialist so as we could get back onto the opioids, so to speak, which I didn't want to do. But we waited our 6 months for the appointment. The appointment, I believe, was back in June. The Friday before the Monday, I get a phone call from this particular pain specialist. I can't remember what his name was or what the surgery was called. But they turned around and said to me, "We're sorry, Michael, we can't see you on Monday," which was only 3 days away. I'd waited 6 months. We're fully booked out. So, no worries. When can you get me in next then? 4 to 6 months. Fuck you. You expect me to sit here in the fucking pain levels that I go through on a fucking daily basis, and I'm supposed to smile and be grateful? No. So I told her exactly what I thought, slammed the phone down. Now, it's turned out that WorkCover themselves have taken, well, we've gone to the medical panel, and the medical panel has ruled in favour of WorkCover themselves to save money, to keep me and every other Australian that's suffering with chronic pain in pain. This is unacceptable. You want to give this little fucker a biscuit, mate? Thank you. The pain specialist I see in Gympie deals with cannabis oil and cannabis flowers. Now, over the time that I've been on the cannabis oil and cannabis flowers, we've gone through different levels or different strains of these particular oils and flowers to find the particular strains that actually help me and minimise the pain. I was getting to the stage where I was walking around, I was doing more gardening, I was getting more active, until WorkCover decided that we had to go to the medical panel. So I dressed up as a nice little transitioning fairy, so to speak, for their meeting. But prior to the meeting, they left us in the dark. They were supposed to supply travel allowance, or they were supposed to get myself down to the medical panel in Victoria and pay for accommodation. Now, it turns out on the day of the first medical panel appointment, they turned around and they said, they rang up and they said, "Hi Michael, it's whoever it was, we're just ringing up to make sure you're turning up to 2 appointments today." And I said, as much as I'd like to turn up to the 2 appointments, unfortunately I'm still in Queensland and I don't have a teleport machine to be able to teleport down to fucking Victoria. I'll have to look into it. Well, another 2 weeks went by. Still nothing. Left in the dark again. So I rang them back and asked what was going on. I will have to get back to you. Then it was, I think, another 2 weeks went past, and they rang up and they stated with an email, "We are going to make it a televised live stream over the internet, so you don't have to travel down here." I said, "Well, what about the problems of not being the problems of the first appointment where they left me in the dark?" Well, they turned around, "Oh, we won't worry about that. We'll just set up the new appointment and we'll go from there." No, fuck you and fuck the horse you rode in on. You have fucking destroyed my life and many other Australians' lives for the sake of protecting your own pockets. Well, now it's come to the point where there's no more time for fucking around with these useless pricks. If you're in one of these government jobs and you're creating harm, injury and loss, you are accountable. You cannot send myself or any other Australian some corporate logo with an ABN number without your name. You need to be held accountable for the crimes, harm and injury that you have committed and are committing against every Australian. So today's video that I've been working on is about our purported Senator Rennick. Now, Mr. purported Senator Rennick probably won't like this video, but I think it's going to be great. And hopefully they come knocking on my door, because what they have done to myself and my family is inexcusable. And I sit back and I look at all the crimes that they have committed against every Australian. I don't just look inside at my own little world. I look at what they're doing to every other Australian. It's a sad state of affairs when you've told the truth all the way through and you keep getting kicked in the guts. Well, I'm very sorry to say that time for the retaliation of kicking the guts is coming back, because the people have had enough of the bullshit. And it's time, as we, as the people, stand united as a people and get rid of all these corporations that are purporting to be our government. They have no crown and constitutional authority. The facts speak volumes. And some of the comments that I've been playing with this morning really shows the delusional assumptions and opinions of these particular individuals, which I'm going to put a video together and make them all stars, because they themselves are either ignorance with bliss or bliss with ignorance, whichever way you want to say it, or they are actually government shills. They are working for the government. Like most of these officers of the court will not accept the fact that they are officers of the court and they owe their professional legitimacy to the court before the client, which is us. I suppose I think I'm done with my little rant today. Well, so no, I'm not, sorry. I missed out the part of the medical panel. In the medical panel televised live stream, they have said that the base oil and the cannabis flower does not help my injury, but they're willing to pay for the morning oil and the nighttime oil. Now, it's funny that I'm no doctor. How does a medication work when you cut it in half? It doesn't. So who's gaining wealth fraudulently by restricting the payments and giving back my funds that I've used to try and cover the pain. Now, the last response, I sent this to the Ombudsman thinking that this was probably my last chance to get some sort of justice, because I have no funds to be able to take it to their High Court, because you need money. Now, I don't have that sort of luxury, and I never have, and I don't want it. But I do want justice, like most Australians. And the sad reality of it is that the Ombudsman forwarded the complaint straight back to WorkCover, EML. Now, EML has now closed the case. Don't ask me how they can possibly do that without a court order, but they have, just like they overwrit professional medical advice without a court order. No separation of powers. Now, in this last time that they responded to my wife, they stated, "We've already paid you $4,000. What else do you want? I want the other fucking $4,000 that you owe me, that you were told to pay by the directions of your own medical panel." But no, I'm the fucking fruitcake. So, all I can say is, when it comes around, you know what you have created? Me. I am a political party creation, just like every Australian in this country. Now, the time for justice is at hand, because I am sick of being kicked in the guts by these fucking lying, deceiving, deceitful criminals. And I've had the pleasure of getting to know a few very honourable men and women. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for any Australian politician. For the ones that I have come into contact with have done nothing but lie, deceive and hoodwink all Australians. None of them accept the fact that they created the Paper Queen of Australia. They just ignore it. They know. Every single Australian politician knows what they are doing, and it is fraud vitiates all contracts. And the last thing, treason has no sunset clause. So when we, as Australians, do take our country back, we are going to have streets lined with politicians and anyone else that has committed the treason and fraud against the Australian people. Enough is enough. This is bullshit. They are living the high life as celebrities. Well, they believe they are celebrities, but they are not. They are supposed to be public servants. The Constitution, the supreme law of this land, states this. So why have these criminals been allowed to circumnavigate the supreme law of the land and get away with it? We, the people, are the ones that are paying for the crimes of treason. So, what else can I say? I'm disgusted in this country, and I know many Australians are, but the only way to fix this is to stand as a people. The time has come, people. Wake the fuck up. All the best, guys, and I take my hat off to all you people that comprehend what's going on, and whether I last through this is another story, because I know they're going to end up taking us out. Don't say that. Why? It needs to be said. People know. I can't remember if I've put this on a video or not, but a few months back, myself and my wife were sitting at the front door, and we heard this loud noise coming from in front of us as we're sitting that way towards, and all of a sudden it was getting louder and louder. So I jumped up and slowly stepped down the 3 steps at the porch here, and by the time I got down and looked up, there was a big Hercules going straight across. Well, I didn't see that it was a Hercules then. I just seen that it was the rear end of a plane. Oh, wow. It was that low that I could have thrown a rock at it. Now, in the condition I'm in, I went out the back as quick as I could, past the house so as I could see what it was. That's where I seen that it was an RAAF Hercules C-19. I believe that's what they call themselves. It went out the back and it went over to the left-hand side and disappeared. Stayed very low all the way. Now, it's funny that it happened because of what we've been putting out. But I don't care. These are the facts. If people can't accept the facts of what's going on, we are lost. Our country is screwed. Our forefathers would be rolling in their graves. We already own nothing, and we're supposed to be happy because of these lying, deceitful politicians. So,
cowards and spineless.
Yeah, cowards and spineless. Yes. Thanks, babe. So, I don't know. I don't have all the answers, and nobody does. We don't know everything, and nobody does. But we are willing to sit down and use these things. Use these things. Those with the eyes and the ears. It's very classic, isn't it? Because most people don't. And most people these days don't seem to have the comprehension or the ability to critically think. But those of you that do, I take my hat off to you. Other than that, guys, I'll cut it there, and I'll go and finish my coffee and have a smoke, and go and get Mr. Rennick's video going. I've just got to make a thumbnail and fill out the description, and she'll be live. It may get taken down off TikTok, which is most likely the case, because they don't like the facts very much, as people know. But yeah, bring it on, baby, bring it on. Justice will be served, whether it's served by them or us. And if it's served by them, it's served illegally, unlawfully, and unconstitutionally. So I'm happy either way. So bring it on, because time for accountability is now. Thanks, guys. All the best.